proud to introduce Diane Lawson, the head of retail and travel partnerships for EMEA, for a company you might have heard about called Google. Diane, case study is over to you.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Diane Lawson. I am a travel and retail lead at Google. My role consists of advising large corporations on their overall digital transformation by leveraging all our business units. And today, I'm going to present you a research we made with Kantar on the expectations of the evolving traveler. Behavioral insights can make a real difference for the travel industry. Why does a traveler choose one flight over another, or one hotel over another? Is it location? Is it price? Is it reviews? Is it the loyalty program? Figuring this helps better serve the travelers. But there is a crucial issue. The reality is how people behave is actually quite different from how they say they will behave. For instance, when you look at New Year's Eve resolutions, people, they want to exercise more. So what they do is that they take a gym subscription, and by April, most of them don't go to the gym and don't choose their gym subscription. We see this disparity in travel behaviors too. For instance, I live in Paris. I've always wanted to see the Northern Lights in Iceland. And when last winter my department gave us 2 extra days off to be taken on specific days 3 weeks later, I immediately saw this as an opportunity to go to Iceland. So I told about this to friends and family. And the preparation turned out to be quite complicated actually. First, it was expensive because it was last minute and it was peak season for Iceland. Secondly, there were no direct flights for the days that was most convenient for me. And third, I needed to book a room in a small village, take a car to go to the northern part of Iceland, and basically I had a lot of administrative work linked to the preparation of this trip. I told this to a friend who lives in New York, and basically he told me that I should just go and visit him instead. So I booked a flight. It took me 2 minutes, and I traded the Aurora Borealis to the lights of Times Square. Yes. A bit lazy. So the thing is, I didn't follow the plan. And what made me change my plans? At the root of this, there is something called the say-do gap. It's the difference between attitudes, what people say, and behaviors, what people do. And understanding what people say is pretty easy, basically. You ask them, they tell you, you know, that's it. Understanding how people will actually behave is trickier. And it's trickier because very often it's not intentional. It's often unconscious. Our behavior is often driven by external factors. For instance, when you look at my retail plans, I was supposed to go to Iceland and I ended up in New York, which is not bad, but it was not the plan. Decision making is not always linear. Travelers are not just facing uncertainty in their lives. There are some external factors that have a major impact in their behaviors. External factors like the pandemic, the war in Ukraine, energy shortages, rising cost of living. This increased volatility plays a major role in how travelers make their decisions. Uncertainty has changed market expectations and made it more difficult for travelers. But what if we could get inside the mind of travelers? What if we could focus on behaviors instead of what people say they will do? And try to anticipate what travelers will do before they even know it themselves. For instance, what if we could see the drivers that led me to go to New York City instead of Iceland? We partner with Kantar to conduct research focused on traveler behaviors and drivers. The goal was to address the disparity on what people say and on what they do. Our partners in the industry, like you, are asking for more insights. And it's even more important because of this volatile environment we live in. And insights bring clarity in this uncertainty. So we set to explore three main things. First one, how travelers' expectations have changed. Secondly, how their behaviors have evolved. And third, how travel companies should adapt their service offerings and marketing strategies in light of this information. To understand the gap between the say and the do, Kantar carried out driver analysis using the Net Promoter Score. So the NPS, basically, it's a widely used market study which indicates the likelihood of someone referring a company, a product, or a service to a friend or a colleague. Decades of research showed that actually the NPS shows a high correlation with actual behaviors, actual and future behaviors. So our research covered nearly 17,000 respondents across 6 markets. And these people traveled between April 2021 and April 2022. In total, 35 experience elements, drivers, were surveyed, from health and safety to cost to ease of booking to loyalty programs. These 35 experience elements were then grouped into 9 experience clusters, and 4 themes emerged from these 9 experience clusters. 4 key insights emerge into what drives traveler behaviors, both consciously and unconsciously. First one, seeking an effortless experience. Second one, focus on trust over loyalty. Third, demand a fair value exchange. And lastly, have inconsistent views on sustainability. Travelers want to reduce the time they spend preparing for a trip. Leisure travelers, they spend 77% of their time planning versus only 23% of their time actually traveling. Leisure travelers underestimate the impact of inspiring content on their actual booking behavior. They say that inspiring content ranks 23rd out of 35 experience elements. But the behavior analysis, indicates it ranked actually 7th out of 35 experience elements. So this tells us something. It tells us that it's vital for traveler brands to have high quality inspirational content. And basically, whenever you interact with the customer, and for like any interaction, it can be, for instance, when someone is booking for a room or choosing a flight, it's important to present to the traveler inspirational content. Service offering is a key driver of leisure traveler behavior. It ranks actually in the top 3 important drivers for both attitudes and behaviors. If we take a closer look at one of the experience elements in this cluster, it shows that travelers tend to underestimate the importance of a seamless and intuitive booking process. The ease of booking is an important driver of behavior, so it's really crucial to streamline the process. The second major theme is that leisure travelers' behavior is more affected by aspects of trust than by loyalty programs for more than 41% of respondents. And in this research, health and safety and proven credibility is a proxy used to estimate trust. Travelers overestimate the importance of health and safety versus their actual behaviors. Basically, leisure travelers, they say that social distancing is the 6th most important driver for them. And actually, in terms of behavior, it's only 22 out of 35. Other factors often supersede cleanliness and health concerns. People acted based on standard health and safety procedures more than pandemic health and safety factors. So basically, it's super important to address the baseline. The third key insight is that leisure travelers demand a fair value exchange. This does not mean that they are just looking and focused on low-cost options. It doesn't mean this. Actually, 38% of them say that they were more likely to plan a once-in-a-lifetime trip than ever before. What they want, it's a good value for money, and this is fair enough. 21% of leisure travelers said that they experience pain points around their trip's value. This means that value for money is something they have in mind and something they expect. Good value for money is the second most important driver for them. Value is more important than cost for many travelers. For instance, 66% of leisure travelers say that the price they paid for their trip was actually not the cheapest, the lowest cost they could find across when they were planning their trip. So they are prepared and willing to pay more if they believe that they have a good value for their money. The last key finding, last but not least, is that there is an inconsistency regarding sustainability. It's very interesting. Currently, sustainability is not a key driver for travelers' behavior. However, there is a growing impact on leisure traveler behavior. Younger travelers, aged between 18 and 24, care more about sustainability, and it's a greater driver in terms of behavior for them compared with the other age groups. Leisure travelers reported a desire to reduce their carbon footprint, but behavior did not reflect these attitudes. This does not mean that they don't care about sustainability. They do. But the follow-through isn't always there. Because many travelers, they consider sustainability as secondary to their core needs. And their core needs being cost, value, location. When given the choice, and without sacrificing these core needs, travelers will actually opt for sustainable options. So it's super important for businesses to actually demonstrate concrete actions on sustainability. What do these insights mean for you? Seeking effortless experience. Travelers are looking for ways to ease the increased work they associate in terms of planning their trip. So you should focus more on inspiring content and also on reduce the travel booking process and all the friction associated to this process. Focusing on trust over loyalty. So rather than expecting guaranteed customer loyalty because of the programs, you should focus instead on customer trust by building credibility, demanding a fair value exchange. Travelers are open, really willing to spend more, as long as the perceived value is respected. So it's important to focus on total value to the customer rather than just cost. Last, in terms of inconsistent views regarding sustainability, travelers care about sustainability, but to different degrees. But still, this can drive their behavior. So, if we were to learn anything from this study, it would be one thing, is that digital matters, because digital is a way to address these 4 key insights. Since travelers are seeking for effortless experiences, you can present them inspiring digital content and make it easy for them to seamlessly transition from inspiration to actual booking. Travelers also have access to more information with unbiased reviews that improve transparency. So you can leverage digital channels to help build trust with travelers. Digital also makes cost and value comparison easier than ever, so travelers can feel confident they are getting a fair value exchange. Lastly, you can easily share through digital channels sustainability information to raise travelers' awareness or make them adopt more sustainable choices. All your online platforms matters, all of them. So it can be online video platforms, your own website, social media, OTS, comparison sites, search engines. So it's very important that you update your website to ensure a frictionless shopping experience. You should also make sure that you are prioritizing an effective social media strategy when deciding where to focus budgets and attention, and it's particularly tricky when the times is a bit challenging. If our research highlights anything, is that digital matters and should be a top priority. Once you have inspired your audience to visit a dream destination, help them make their trip by making their booking process seamless. For instance, nearly half of leisure travelers say they use Google Maps or Google Business Reviews in the destination research stage of their trip. Imagine if, when I was considering going to Iceland, there had been an option to easily book a car along with my flight and a room in the most preferred location to see the Aurora Borealis, and also a fair price for a hotel and everything with a frictionless booking. I would probably talk about this Iceland trip instead of the New York one. This is just one example. There are many valuable insights from this research, but we had to make a selection, so we just give you some highlights. We hope we have given you some food for thought in terms of prioritizing your resources and strategy. Overcoming the say-do gap is not easy. But insights like these can start to build a bridge. By leveraging behavioral insights, you can turn travelers' behavior and resolutions into reality and meet their needs before they have even articulated them. Thank you.